volunteer, these cartoonist fates tell the tale. I've never understood, frankly, why most American journalists aren't deeply conservative. After all, we are protected by the most right-wing, most anti-government article in the Constitution, the First Amendment. That extraordinary document forbids government from meddling in our exercise of free speech. The freedom of press represents the very real fear, a very real paranoia of what unprotected government can do unless shackled by law. Unlike every other industry, we are protected from government interference. In the auto industry in my home state, Michigan, for example, which is currently under assault from the federal government to make 55 mile per gallon electric cars that politicians want, but that consumers don't. I often ask my press colleagues, imagine if Washington told you that in the name of saving the environment, you could only print 150 words a day on 3 sheets of newsprint. In their ability to speak truth to power, editorial cartoonists may be shy, they may be unassuming, and it may not be stand-up comics, but they are testimony to an extraordinary country that trusts individuals, each individual, with freedom of speech. It is a wonderful, wonderful thing to behold. Now, few people exercise that freedom more passionately than Chuck Asay, and he deserves this recognition. He is indeed a light of liberty. Thank you, Chuck.
Chuck, why don't you come up here? Under the basking glow of our mayor, I am so honored to present you with something that means quite a bit to me. It not only recognizes there's so many people who give of themselves to fight for limited government, but it also recognizes a man I will never forget who made all of our work possible at Independence. Congratulations.
Thank you, John. Thanks, Henry. That was really great. I look around this room and I see a lot of cartoonists that I recognize, Cliff and Kenny B, and my former boss, Dan Nagamer, and Sean Page. Are you here? He was going to be here, but I wanted people to see my wife, Marge, and my son, Paul. Would you stand up? Paul is a writer, and Marge is a writer and my editor now. And I wanted to recognize Tim Hoyle, who signed a number of checks, I guess, or the organization, the Freedom Found organization that really, really has been a co-partner with Independence Institute for many, many years. And boy, there are so many people here that I owe something to, but unfortunately I won't get to pay you. Barry Fagan was on the keyboard here. I thought he was some sort of guy that, you hired, John, but maybe you didn't.
No, I hired him.
Oh, okay. But Barry and I are going to speak at the Air Force Academy. Barry is a libertarian, and we disagree on some of the social issues, but we're going to have a big debate on Air Force Academy. There'll be, I don't know, 5, 6 people there.
I think we'll have a few more.
Yeah. But thank you so much, John, for this great, great honor. I so appreciate it. And thanks to everybody for coming. God bless you. Thank you.
That's very nice and all, but the Independence Institute, if you don't drink, you're not a member of the club. So this is some Wente wine, am I pronouncing that correctly? Autographed by
the owner of the vineyard.
The people who actually stopped the grapes. All of them illegal, but I think they're going to. Thank you. I want to thank you. Hey, I just want to give one quick thought about this coming year, and I want to thank you so much for everything you've done. At the Independence Institute, we do something a little different than most politicians do. We take a long-term approach. We understand that change doesn't happen just next year or just at the next election. We spend a lot of time doing what Stephen Covey calls the important over the urgent. In politics, sometimes the urgent seems to drive our movement. If only we can win this time. And what we try to do is build a system where our ideas grow, get traction, and become reality. From Tabor to privatization to charter schools and the school report card system, these things take time. That being said, I want to make a case for the urgent. If you do not know, Colorado is becoming very centered in national politics, in that it is very possible that Colorado will become, in 2012, what Florida was in 2000. Strategists understand that Obama cannot and will not remain president unless he wins this state. Is it any wonder that he came and visited 3 times within the span of about a month and has already opened up several offices in Colorado? We have real responsibility. You mentioned that you and Barry will be duking it out as a libertarian and a social conservative to find out who won. And well, you're both so badly out of shape, you're both lose. But I want to talk just a quick second about what makes Colorado and the freedom movement so very ineffective. And that's because, unlike the other team, we don't work well together. We diverge. Take a look at the last election. Take a look at what happened between in the Republican Party. This was a year that we had a 9-point percentage lead and we lost. Look what happened to the Senate race, where we couldn't beat someone who was very, very beatable. And we did this ourselves. And the reason is because we go in so many different directions. We're free thinkers. We don't take orders well. And we do what Coloradans do so well. We hand victory over to those who take away our freedom. And let me just put it in as simple terms as I can. In 2012, if we Dan Mays it again, it's not just Colorado that's going to pay. It may be the entire nation. Which brings independence into a very, very important role. And that, as you know, we don't deal with social issues at independence, which means when we work with social conservatives and libertarians very well. We work with people who are in the establishment, there's politicians and lobbyists and the elite class of politicians, but we also deal very carefully with Tea Party folks, 912s, the activists, the type of people who earn these awards. That puts us in a real responsible place, a very, very unique and almost intimidating place, that we're one of the few places that can reach into all these camps. And so I thought I'd take this opportunity to announce some of our larger plans in 2012. It is our goal to help bring together these very disparate groups in the conservative movement. Not to control any of them, but to give them a meeting place, to give them a place where we can get together and have our battles behind closed doors. You know, kind of like the other team does. And towards that end, it is our goal to purchase a building in downtown Denver, only blocks away from the Capitol, that will serve as a freedom embassy to all the different groups of our movement, the groups that pull themselves apart. This freedom embassy will be a place where not only II works and can be closer to the Capitol, but it will also be a place where conservatives and free marketeers of all stripes can meet, can hold their board meetings, can do their fundraisers, can have private closed-door meetings, can work out their differences behind the cameras, not in front of the cameras. Now, this is not going to mean victory for any one person or any one group in 2012, but it means that we will have a place where all participants finally feel welcome. From the Tea Party activists, to the elected officials, to the lobbyists, to the social cons and the libertarians. This is a huge undertaking, and this is the first time I've ever talked about it publicly, and I wanted to announce it tonight. We are stretching ourselves beyond our limits. We are going farther than we've ever gone before, because if we don't do something bold, this year of all years, there might not be anything to rescue. And I'm going to invite you and ask you all at some point to help out in this fight, in whatever capacity that might be. If we don't give it our all this year, I don't know if we will be on a course that we can ever correct. And I think many of us feel the same way in the pits of our stomachs. And independence will play a key role of at least having a place where we can get together to work out those differences. And with that, look for details to follow and things to move quickly soon. But I'm so grateful for everything you all do for freedom in Colorado, for liberty, and for the Independence Institute and the different groups that push us. And we live in a scary time, but we also live in the best time. You know, I wonder, did people before the Great Depression know what was coming? Do we know what's coming? Are we ready to face the challenges? And I think the people here tonight, we are. And I'm looking forward to this fight, and I think it's what so many of us have worked our lives for. And so I'm just thrilled to do what we do, and I couldn't be in better company. So with that, there's lots of booze. The more you drink, the better I look. And for those who are driving, there's some food here as well. Thank you all for coming. Going to stick around and enjoy. Oh, and by the way, the cartoonists have some big pads of paper over there if you'd like to see them create their magic. I'm going to insist that they do because I'm giving them free dinner. So thank you all for coming.